Hi, welcome to the shop. Today we're going to talk about this, the Stanley Number 1. This is a controversial little plane. A lot of videos out there debating about what it was used for, why it was made, and if it really is a usable tool. Stick around, I'm going to show you my use of the plane and my opinion of it. So right now I'm working on a set of open shelves with the little cabinet doors on them that have these small slats in them. The slats are then set into small dados, and I needed to be able to take the slats, clean up the edges where they've been ripped out, and sometimes adjust the width of it a little bit to fit in those dados. I could have pulled out my trusty 60.5 block plane and cleaned them up. It didn't quite feel right, so I pulled out the Number 1. Now, one question is, how do you hold it? I hold it like this, where the handle is in the crook of my hand and the rest is just kind of holding it. And it actually works pretty good for single-handed planes. Now, I was able to use that for those. And if I needed to use it with two hands, it was also pretty easy to get in there and hold that front knob and be able to plane pretty nicely. So while I found it as being a usable tool, there's still the question of what was its real initial purpose? You know, some people debated it was a child's tool. Pretty much everybody's kind of ruled that out because it's not even really usable as a child holding it. So that, I think, has been ruled out pretty much by everybody. You know, there was a debate that maybe it was, at one point I saw a salesman sample. Well, I don't think it's a salesman sample. They had it in the catalog. So what was it good for? I'm going to base my opinion on probably the most famous Number 1 plane is the H.O. Studley toolbox.
Why would he have had this plane in such a pride of place if he wasn't using it regularly?
Mr. Studley was a piano and organ builder. And if you have ever seen the inside of a piano, you know that there's lots of pieces to it. Lots and lots of wooden pieces to it. And all those pieces have relatively tight tolerances and therefore need to be able to be smoothed or trimmed. And I kind of think that maybe it was designed for people working in not necessarily just the piano market, but ones that had to work in very tight areas on small pieces that this plane would come in handy for. So now let's talk about value. This plane I purchased in December of 2024 for a little over $1,400 with shipping. It has probably 95% of the Japanning still left on it. Neither the tote nor handle are cracked in any way. It does have a little bit of a leaf carving in this on both sides that are very neat and well done. It has the owner's name engraved on the side. I believe it says C.M. Allen, 1902. I kind of like that. I like the history of a piece. When I got it, I cleaned it up, oiled it, made sure everything was in good shape, sharpened the blade, put it back together. I didn't do anything with the bottom. I don't know. I think it's pretty close to flat. If it's not, it's such a small plane, I don't think it's going to matter, and I don't want to really do anything to the patina on it. I like it, so I'm not going to do anything there. Now, the plane is not one I pull out on every job. I do use it. I do find it a useful plane, and in some ways it does better job to me than a block plane in some areas. I like it. It gives me a lot of joy to work with it, and maybe that's part of it. I know that it's the most expensive plane I own by far, probably twice the price of any of the Lee Nielsen's that I have. So from that aspect, it's an expensive plane. I do have that collector mentality. I like to collect. I originally bought it as a collection piece, but I knew in my heart that I would want to use it because it's a tool and As a woodworker, I enjoy using the tools that I own. So this one is definitely a keeper. I get nervous when I use it because I don't want to drop it or break it or hurt it in any way, because I really do enjoy using it that much. So all in all, for me, it's worth the $1,400. I find that much joy in it. So that's my opinion. Let me hear what your opinion is on the Stanley No. 1 plane. And thanks for stopping by.